first big burning question I've had since TIFF is, what was that response like for you? Was there any little piece of you that knew that audiences were going to embrace it that wholeheartedly?
No, of course not. I'm an artist. I'm so insecure.
I like that you call yourself an artist. I was watching another interview you did where you were explaining how it was very difficult to embrace calling yourself an artist and also a professional artist. So now after an Emmy win and making your first feature, do you consider yourself a professional artist?
Yes, I do, but it doesn't. That has nothing to do with my insecurity. I'm absolutely a professional artist, but I'm still terrified all the time that people are going to hate what I do. It's really the sort of like artist's way. I have a good friend who was talking about this recently. It's the artist's way to think like, this is terrible. Oh my God, this is awful. I need millions of people to see this awful thing that I've done. It's this cognitive dissonance of really feeling like, oh man, I'm not sure if this is going to be good, but I need to show this to a lot of people to see if they think it's good. So I was not expecting that response in TIFF. I certainly was. I was terrified going into it. In fact, there was a part of me that didn't want to sit through it because I was so afraid that it was going to fall flat. But within about 10 minutes, when I heard the sort of audience erupt in laughter in the places that I wanted them to laugh and really responding to the material, that to me was, it allowed me to calm down a little bit and enjoy the experience.
Oh, you better enjoy what's coming your way right now. I love the fact that a film can evolve every step of the way, like writing, filming, editing, but then also how it evolves again when an audience receives it. So given that mentality, is there anything about your own movie that feels like it plays stronger than ever because of how people responded? You never realized it before, but they really took to it, and now you love it even more.
Yeah, I think that the thing that I was very excited about was seeing how many different kinds of people are appreciating it. I think that for me, I really wanted to make a movie that felt big tent. I didn't want to make a movie that felt like it was just for people on the coasts and in New York and LA. I really wanted to make a movie that felt like anybody could come in here and experience it and find something to leave that they enjoyed. And so we've shown the movie around the world now. We've shown the movie at fancy film festivals, at colleges, to predominantly black audiences, predominantly white audiences, older people, younger people. And we've just had such a really great response from every kind of person across the spectrum. And that's really happy. That makes me really happy. I'm excited that we're releasing it around Christmas time, around the holidays, so that people can go with their whole families. Because I really do think that there's something for everybody in there, and it leaves you you leave with a smile on your face, And I really wanted to make a movie that didn't feel like it was lecturing or like you were coming in to sit through like a college seminar that was going to leave you kind of morose when you left. I think it's kind of a feel-good movie in a way that I sort of didn't know if people were going to accept it that way. And so I've been delighted to see that they have been.
One of my favorite things in the world is when I get to bring my favorite films home to my family. Yeah, and absolutely. This movie was Nemiroff family approved. Everyone loved it. And I love when we can all love things together. It just makes me happy.
Absolutely.
I want to go back to the beginning with a question here, because I was reading that Percival turned down a whole bunch of interest in terms of turning Erasure into a feature film. Do you know why he gave you the go-ahead? Was there anything about you and your specific pitch that set it apart?
I don't know. I think that we've never really discussed that exactly, but I think that one of the great things about Percival is that he's just a real consummate artist. He doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about fame. He doesn't care about sort of like being in the public eye. He just really cares about art and being passionate about the art. And so we spoke on the phone for about a half an hour. He asked me why I was passionate about it. He asked me what I intended, what kind of movie I wanted to make. And then incredibly, he gave me the rights for free to the book. He said, go ahead. He said, I'll give you the rights for 6 months for free. Go write a script. And if anything comes of it, then you can pay me back when you sell it. And so he is just, for those people who don't know, legal battles and sort of like the legal discussions about getting rights for something to adapt can take months, sometimes years. And so just his willingness to give it to me for free, it meant the world. I'll be forever indebted to him for that.
Kind of wish the process went like that a little more often. I feel like we'd be
right?
like buried in high quality films right now. So again, this is your first feature, but just so everyone knows, you're an Emmy winner. You have tons of experience. Of all of your series writing and producing experience, which particular show did you find coming in handy most in terms of what it takes to tackle a feature film instead?
Oh God, I think that something that really helped me with the writing experience was Watchmen. And I think that, Watchmen was the first really, I think it's the only TV adaptation. No, that's not true. But it was the first big TV adaptation. I also did a show called Station 11 that was an adaptation. Yeah, thank you. And so, but the thing that I took from Watchmen, the adaptation of Watchmen, was that Damon always talked about was that, you know, the key to a great adaptation isn't necessarily maintaining maintaining fealty to the text of the script, and the text of the novel, and the sort of like full characters and stuff that come from that story. The key to a sort of a good adaptation and one that doesn't feel bloodless is keeping the spirit and the essence and the feeling of the original text alive. And so, to me, although there's some big departures from the novel that we take in the movie, what I tried to do is keep the spirit of the novel alive and keep Percival's original ideas alive. So, for instance, one of the epigraph of the novel is this Latin phrase that I was unfamiliar with, and apparently it's used in relationship to complex mathematics, and the rough translation is, "I offer no hypothesis." And so, to me, the sort of suggestion there was that I couldn't make a movie that felt didactic, that I couldn't make a movie that felt like, here's the moral lesson that you take from this, and here's the good guys and here's the bad guys. It felt like my responsibility was to make a movie that gave you some scenarios and gave you some interesting characters, and then allowed you to walk away and sort of feel about it how you want to feel about it. And so that, to me, was one of the main lessons that I took from Watchmen, was just make an adaptation that feels like of a piece with the original text, while also, doing some slashing and burning in order to make a different piece of art that you feel like you need to make.
Such great success in that respect.
Thanks.
I have to ask you about working with your ensemble here, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is your first time directing actors.
This is my first time directing anything, yeah.
What is something about collaborating with Jeffrey, Sterling, Erica, and the rest of the cast here that taught you something about what it means to be an actor's director that you plan to take with you to future films or shows?
I think it's helping the actors find what is real about the character that can pertain to their lives, right? And so I think that it's sometimes about saying, like, what's something here that's more interesting than the role might suggest, right? Because there are parts in the movie that are, there's parts in every movie that are smaller than other roles. And I think that sort of in order to really get good actors to take those kinds of roles, it's to help them understand the importance of this and sort of like the foundational nature of this character on which all the other story is built, right? And so it's letting them know, like, I understand that you sort of like feel different than this person might feel, but here's what goes on in your life that sort of like might help you understand this character a little bit more. And here's something that sort of like makes me passionate about this character that sort of like might help you to understand who this character is a little more. So, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that is taken from my personal life and sort of like my own struggles with my personal and professional life that sometimes I let the actors in on, to say, here's what happened in my life that made me write this character this way, that helpfully maybe helps you understand emotionally what this character is doing and why they want to live their life the way that they live their life. And so I think that just is important to me, is to help everybody feel passionate about it. I think that this was a movie that had a lot of people passionate. And, as I said, I had never directed anything before, so I didn't have a reference point for that. But Jeffrey told me this thing that I thought was really special, where he said, being on a set, you can tell when people feel passionate about what they're making and feel proud of what they're making. He said you can see it in the way that they work. Are they working as hard as they can? Are they sort of being as productive as possible? Are they sort of like working in collaboration with other people sort of in a very healthy way? He said these are things that let you know that people on set feel like they're making something special. And he was like, and I saw that from the first day on set, is that everybody felt like they were making something special. And so for me, as somebody who'd never directed anything before and didn't have that reference point, that meant the world to me to hear him say that sort of, you can just tell by the way that people work on set that they feel like they're part of something that feels good. And so hopefully that is reflected in the film, because there was a lot of love and joy on set, and we wanted to put it into the movie.
100% is. Can confirm. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.